Here at the Pontiac Silverdome, we're ready for the first round of monster truck eliminations, a circular course with two vehicles competing on a common finish line. It'll be Jerry Richmond in the Weapon 1 Chevrolet against Jim Thomas in the barely tame Ford. They both move into their respective first turns and now line up for their respective back straights. And with the finish line marked in the middle of the crush cars, you can see it's a dead even battle as they go into the last turn on opposite sides. Heading for the finish line, Thomas runs into problems inches from the finish line, and Richmond will come from behind to get an upset victory. What a tough break for Jim Thomas, as he was dead even with the Chevrolet until this happened. Using the stagger steering approach to the final set of cars, he stalls and gets hung up, and Richmond drives around for the victory. A tough break for the Minnesota team, and advancement to the semis for the red Chevrolet from Ohio. This time around, Doug Spanier and the Master of Disaster Chevrolet will get a bye run, as apparently Ray Perkowski, who we saw run into big problems during qualifying with the new Invader Ford, will be unable to make it to the starting line for this round. Spanier will apparently not take it easy. He's going to drive it all out to get used to this unusual circular course. Overdriving it a bit out of the last turn, but he'll straighten it out. It obviously proves that he's ready for this semifinal round. But coming up next, the number 2 qualifier and defending champion Andy Brass in the $100,000 Bigfoot Ford leads the starting line against 19-year-old Greg Holbrook out of Tennessee. The equalizer being driven plenty hard to try and get around the Ford. But look at the advantage Brass already has. The kid is in trouble. Brass will literally drive around him for the victory. And Andy knows he's got this one in hand, as there are apparently even more problems for 19-year-old Greg Holbrook. He will just drive it right back into the pit area. But Bigfoot advances. And now it'll be the number 1 qualifier, First Blood, and Rob Bush taking on Mike White's Jersey Outlaw Ford in the final pairing of round 1. A possible upset in the making. It looks like the Outlaw may already have the advantage, but no, Fuchs will now make up where Wine has problems on the second turn. Wine will get it back underway, but the First Blood Ford is right behind him. Fuchs knows he's got this one in his pocket and will easily take care of the Jersey Outlaw to advance to the semifinal round. Wine will complete his run nonetheless. Had a great battle going as he locks up the brakes and heads for the pit entrance. So Rob Fuchs endures a fairy tale situation as he now advances to the semifinals. We've already seen the First Blood Ford take the number 1 qualifying spot, and look at Fuchs. He knows he's having a heck of an evening. Coming up the semifinals, we'll see the Weapon 1 Chevrolet and Andy Brass and Bigfoot, plus the Master of Disaster of Doug Spanier and the killer of this event, Rob Fuchs. Stay tuned. Thousand race fans here at the Pontiac Silverdome are anxiously awaiting the semifinal round of monster truck action. The winners of these two pairs go to the final round. It's Ford and Chevy. Weapon 1 against First Blood, Rob Fuchs and Jerry Richmond. Again, the winner goes to the championship dash. They leave the starting line on the green light, and they are dead even on the first quarter lap. Richmond bouncing all over the place, tries to keep pace with the Ford, but he runs into problems. And Rob Fuchs may have his first final round appearance of the year in his hand. He does. He drives past the broken Chevrolet. Richmond slams the helmet down as Fuchs drives his way into the final. The crowd ecstatic with this unsponsored home-built truck taking the number 1 qualifying spot, now advancing past 2 competitors to go to the championship finale. Jerry Richmond obviously dejected. He had things under control. It was dead even at this point in the first quarter of a lap. But this rough landing apparently broke something in the drivetrain. He's history. Fuchs again salutes the crowd. Now the majority of them are on his side. We'll have to wait and see who he will battle for this U.S. Hobbit Association Championship. On the line, it's Andy Brass and Bigfoot, the number 2 qualifier, moving up against the Master of Disaster of Doug Spanier. Another Ford and Chevy battle. So far, the Master of Disaster has been nowhere near Bigfoot's performance, but we've already seen that this circular course can make things equal in any respect, just in the treachery of its slippery turns. waiting for the green light. Bigfoot gets the hole shot, a huge hole shot, in fact. Finally, Spain here starts leaning on the master of disaster machine, but I think it's too late. Look at the advantage Brass has, and Spain here has already spun out at the end of his first turn. Andy Brass now literally chasing the Chevrolet around the track, and there is no way that Spain here is going to be able to pull a win out of this one. All Brass has to do is make this turn and bring it across the finish line to come home a winner. A tough break for Spain here. He again had a great battle going until this turn, where he went way wide, spun it out, and Andy Brass had the race in the bag. That sets up a spectator's dream final round. Bigfoot, the number 2 qualifier, against the man who has so far dominated this event, the incredible Rob Fusion First Blood. You can bet Andy Brass of the Bigfoot team will check that state-of-the-art machine over thoroughly as we advance to the championship finale. But in the meantime, it's one of the most astounding pieces of machinery ever created, drawing crowds from coast to coast to see one of the most incredible acts in the history of exhibition motorsports. Get ready for the one and only 5-story terror known as Robosaurus. Robosaurus is simply unbelievable. Coming up, the monster truck battle of the decade. The high-tech, high-dollar Bigfoot Ford takes on the working man's hero, Rob Fusion, the unsponsored independent First Blood Ford. Stay with us.